Cato June joining us right here on the Norris and Davis Show, talking some football with us. Hey, Cato.
Hey, what's going on?
Not too much. All right. Well, let's start with you. You played this league a long time for a lot of different teams. What's your assessment of what's going on?
It's kind of unfortunate because, with all the success New England's had, it's always had, a little cloud here and there. But, what's something...
He says with a chuckle.
I mean, you want to, know that people are operating, honestly and that sort of thing. But it's kind of unfortunate because I think that ultimately, everyone wants to try to gain an advantage to some degree within the rules. And then you'll do things that, are advantageous to you. But when you're starting to break the rules and do things that are, it's just not, not fair or just trying to get away with things and you get caught, it doesn't look good. And I don't think the score matters. It's just a matter of, it doesn't look good that even though it probably didn't change the outcome of the game, it's just not a good look.
It's not a good look, Cato, and I think you're right. It reminds me much of and I think it's the same, it's the steroid era in baseball where a lot of the guys that have been accused or suspected or admitted of using PEDs were incredible players anyway, and they would have been great without them. But they did it, and it taints their legacy. I just think the Patriots are the same kind of thing where this is a very talented football team, but they can't seem to just get out of their own way as far as these scandals. I think it's going to taint their legacy because I think people want to see them. They'd like to see them get shellacked by the Seahawks right now. I think most of America would.
Yeah, I think the betting lines have switched tremendously towards the Seahawks with that, coming out and whatnot. But it'll be interesting to see, how Belichick addresses it and what he's going to say, because I think that'll bode, well for a lot of the New England fans and see, hey, well, you guys stop talking about the footballs, to play the footballs. I called a couple of my quarterback buddies. I'm like, hey, does this really give you an advantage? And one of my guys said, hey, think about it like this. It's almost similar to, throwing a Nerf football. And if you think about a Nerf football, everybody can throw that because, you can squeeze it and, you can, grip it better ultimately. So I didn't think about it like that. So
well, yeah, what I'd say, if it didn't create an advantage, they wouldn't do it. There'd be no reason to take the risk.
No, absolutely. And I think that, and I think it's a preference thing, and you have to go through the line because another guy says, hey, I didn't like the, footballs that were deflated. I liked, ones that were more, inflated because I felt like, I gripped it better. So I think it's a preference thing. So, a quarterback might say, hey, I don't want so much air in it. And I think there's a line there, but when you find out that, hey, all the footballs, for most of the footballs are, way off. Now, it goes from a preference.
Hey, Cato, you're drifting out on us. Can you get any closer to the phone by chance? Cato?
I apologize. Can you hear me? Is that better?
Much better.
Yep,
much better.
Yep.
Yeah, I apologize. Yeah, it goes from something that, where it's a preference thing to, more of a, crossing the line and now you're going into the cheating area. So, it's unfortunate, I think, for the New England and for the league that this is what we're talking about leading up to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, a little bit self-inflicted. Well, let me ask you something. You played for the Colts. They were the nemesis of the Patriots. They came up on the short end. I know at least once in the playoffs when you were playing, you came up on the short end against them. So do you look back and wonder and say, Spygate came out after you guys lost in the playoffs to them? This is kind of a two-part question. Do you look back at all? Do you wonder at all and say, what kind of crap were they pulling on us? And did it cost us maybe a Super Bowl or two? Flip side is, you were a defender. You were a linebacker. Would you have wanted to play for this guy?
I played for some awesome coaches, and I probably wouldn't change that. I look back and say, you always look back in retrospect and say, hey, what could I have done better? how could we have played better as a team? If I'd have made that tackle or, made this interception, if this guy would have caught that ball, all this what ifs and woulda, coulda, shoulda. It makes you more irritated than anything.
I'm certain he didn't start cheating in 2006, Cato. He didn't just say,
Absolutely
this
not.
videotape and practice thing, that's not a bad idea. Let's start that now.
That my friend is so horrible. Like it's just certain things integrity wise that it's as a competitor, you want an advantage, but you have the integrity to say, hey, that's crossing the line, and like I said, it's irritating because you're already good. You already have a great staff. You already have great players. You're going to do well over time because you've proven that. But when you find out that, you're kind of cheating, it's just kind of like, it's more irritating than anything. I wouldn't say that would change. It's not going to make me, make another play or pick up a fumble or, pick a ball off. But at the end of the day, it does put a cloud over it.
Absolutely does.
And the other part, would you have wanted to play? Would you want to play for a guy that could help you win, but might be skirting the rules?
I think he's an awesome coach, and I have buddies that played for him, and people have mixed feelings about him, the guys that have played for him. So I wouldn't want to be labeled a cheater if that's what people are calling New England. So if I had a choice, I would much rather have played for a guy with that everybody thinks is probably the has the highest character integrity in Tony Dungy. So I'm gonna stay on the Dungy side of things and say I was proud to play under somebody that people thought so highly of.
Cato, what about the upcoming game now? Assuming they're not going to suspend anybody, nothing's going to happen, so you're going to have two fully intact teams. Who do you think is the better team going to Super Bowl 49?
And I picked Seattle preseason.
Me too.
So
I'm sticking with them.
I'm sticking with them. I would like to see them repeat. I think that'll be fun. But I just love the way they play defense. They fly around. They're aggressive. They're physical. They're going to let you know. They're going to talk about it a little bit. I was a little bit of a talker out there, so I kind of like that, John, that they do. At the same time, they play with an air about themselves, and they run the football. I mean, that Marshawn Lynch is definitely a problem, and he's something to deal with. And it brings an attitude. They have an attitude about that team that hey, we're going to be more physical than you, and we're going to outplay you and be more aggressive. And I just love watching them play. So I look forward to hopefully they'll come out and play their style of ball, and all these other things won't be a distraction.
Actually, I just realized, I just did a little reading while you were talking, Cato. As it turns out, this is all your fault. You could have uncovered this back in 2006. I was just reading, back in 2006, Cato intercepted Brady twice in a game when the Colts went to 8-0. So if you had noticed back then that the ball was underinflated, we wouldn't be talking about this.
You know what's funny? I still have those two footballs, so I'm going to go
check
on my
them.
wall, and I'm going to check them. I'm like, you know what? You're right.
The PSI on them is probably about 4 by now. I think the statute of limitations has expired. I want to ask you a different kind of question. You're the head football coach down at Anacostia High down in D.C., right?
Yes, sir.
So I'm just curious, Real Sports just had a piece on the Chicago Bears and, how a lot of these guys aren't doing particularly well. Do you worry at all about the longevity of football, and are you noticing people that are less reluctant to let their kids play football?
More reluctant.
Or more reluctant, I should say.
Yeah, it is. It's tough, and you have those conversations with people, and I kind of deal with it myself. I'm a father, and, my son is sick, and I won't let him play tackle football yet. So it's not because of, I'm thinking about the whole concussion and health thing. It's more so to me, like I said, it comes down to, I don't like how some people approach it. To me, at that age, it's supposed to be fun, supposed to fly around and, everybody fall down and get up slow. It's kind of funny. But, then you have these people, once again, that are not high character guys, and they don't have any integrity, and they'll, try to play an older kid with a younger kid. And I'm just not really beat for that. So I'm being real careful because of that, because it's just not worth it right now. And I got to balance that, because as a head football coach, I want to win. I want to win, and I want my guys to have success and play the game that they love at a high level. But I also have to be cognizant of, hey, things have changed. If you're seeing little stars after a hit, hey, that's probably a concussion. It's not okay to shake it off and get back out there, and those protocols have changed. So I have to realize that and understand that at the end of the day, I'm gonna do what's best for the kid. One because I have one, and I understand that it's a game, and it's gonna be over for most of them after high school, and you don't want any long-term effects of hey, your coach was doing things the wrong way, or allowing people to go back in that they were hurt trying to win. And it's not that important to me. I think the longevity of your health and the experience that you get from playing football and the life lessons that you learn and the relationships that you develop is far more important than for me trying to, win some championship.
Cato, hey, I want to talk to you during the break. I'm going to throw you on hold real quick, okay? It's Cato June joining us. Thank you so much. That was really great. So much. That was really great. So much. That